Hello and welcome to Silver Linings Talk Show. We are so excited that you are here with us, and we are very excited to have our guest today. So we have Miss Leslie Carson, who is a Career and College Readiness Coordinator in the Westbrook school system. And we are so thrilled to have you to hear about all that you do and what you're bringing to the school and all this cool stuff happening. So can you please just tell us a little bit about you and your current role you're at Westbrook High School.
Absolutely. So I have been an educator since the 1980s. I'm old, but I started out as a business education teacher. So my background is career technical education. So I'm always really focused on what's happening and how to get kids ready for employment and career ready. Yes. So that's been kind of from the very beginning of my background. But since my beginnings as a business ed teacher, I've worked at the State Department of Education here in Connecticut. I've been a consultant for school improvement with the Southern Regional Education Board. And all of it, though, has always been focused on how do we help schools become better prepared to get kids better prepared for their future careers.
Yes.
Love
It's very important.
Yeah.
Very important work.
Leslie, subject is so near and dear to my heart because I was a admissions coordinator for Pittsburgh Technical College for 10 years back in the 90s. And it was always so rewarding for me to work with these students that, you know, they didn't want to go to a traditional college. And when they realized that there were so many opportunities for them out in the world with a trade school. So I want to know, so more recently, what is your experience and involvement in bringing the focus back to the trades?
So, well, first of all, if you pay attention to what's happening just in the state of Connecticut, we have a lot of jobs in the manufacturing industry that are going, they can't find employees. Mm-hmm. And so we also have other things happening, and that includes kids aren't going to college the way they used to. There's, for a lot of reasons, they're seeing the student debt load. They don't want to be saddled with student debt, and so they're exploring other avenues. And this Gen Z, Gen Alpha, is called the trades generation. So it's important to think about, or the tool belt generation, as some people call it. So it's important to kind of focus on them too, and preparing students for further training and further education. So it's not just going to college, but it's about making sure that kids are ready for whatever is out there for them beyond high school. Mm-hmm. So we spend a lot of time doing career exploration activities to find out what they want. I tell parents on freshman orientation night at Westbrook High School that I don't want their child to be like my son, who went to school for 7 years at college, was on Dean's List almost every semester, but he could not figure out what he wanted to do. And it's because he did not have opportunities during high school to rule things out. Yes. And think about that. So he's very successful now, so I'm not concerned about him, but I just don't want any of our students to be like my son.
Nice.
No, I'd love to kind of explore that and unpack a little bit more about that. Mm-hmm. How have studies, the results in studies, impacted the focus on college versus the trades? I think you shared some of this with us before, and I found this truly interesting, and I think we'd love to have you share that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot happening right now in the United States, not just in Connecticut, but across the United States. First of all, we have a lot more baby boomers than we do younger generations. So what's happening in the trades right now, and really manufacturing is a big one for the state of Connecticut, we have what's called a silver tsunami. And that's creating, the gray hair, leaving and retiring. I'm not saying I'm done with my job, I'm tired of it, I'm out of here, but it's more about retiring. And so we have that's kind of created a skills gap. So if kids are not learning how to be plumbers, if they're not learning how to be electricians, if they're not learning how to be welders, what can we do with our jobs?
With these open opportunities.
Absolutely. So In addition to that, you have things like a college wealth premium is shrinking. So it used to be go to college, your accumulated net worth would be huge, and you would know that look, go to college and it will grow.
Right.
But now the younger generations of kids are not seeing that accumulated net worth in the way that we did when I was going to school or even 10 years ago. They're just not seeing that. So that's kind of a problem, and colleges are sort of getting some pressure for the return on investment. And in addition to that, it's like go to college. There's a lot of underemployed college students out there. You see the pressure on colleges. They're not, the number of students entering the humanities is shrinking. And you also see here in Connecticut, in particular, we're seeing colleges start to do things like stacked credentials. So they're making sure that if you're a college student, you're actually getting some credentials, certifications along the way.
Okay.
So you're being certified in things. So that pressure is kind of shifting the way colleges operate as well.
That's
Can
probably
I
helpful.
just share something really quick? Exploring college for my son, right? Because we're at that point.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're doing is like community college for a year to work on some math and stuff for where he wants to go in meteorology. And one thing we discovered was a GIS certification at, I think it was Three Rivers in Norwich. And that is about like, the mapping, the weather, the geography, like things that he really loves. So I think that that's something that we're going to want him to do because that's going to be like another step up for him.
Exactly. Those are those stacked credentials
Yes.
that I'm referring to.
I love that. And I think part of this, I think, fits into the conversation. You were mentioning that part of the reason for this is kids were starting to go to school and they would go back, but then they wouldn't.
Yes.
Oh, they would stop.
They would
not
stop.
complete.
Yes,
And-
yes. So
and-
that's part of when I started in 2019. I'm very data driven, so it's like,
Yeah,
what
but
is
it's
where do we
important.
focus our work in Westbrook? And so I started by looking at the data. And so there's an organization called the National Student Clearinghouse. The state of Connecticut uses it, some of their data for school accountability purposes. And one of the things that National Clearinghouse does is tracks students who go to college. And tracks them for 6 years. So there's some lagging data there. But what we saw in Westbrook, when I started in 2019, the published data was from 2012. And Westbrook was doing great, 94.3% graduation rate, 79% of the students were going off to college, which is well above the national average by about 20 percentage points. But then over the period of 6 years, only 60% of them were actually finishing a 2 or 4 year degree. And so you have to wonder if the school is preparing students. And Westbrook sends kids to Ivy Leagues. I mean, we're a small school right now, 158 students. We have students at Harvard, we have students at Yale. But we have to make sure that they're going to finish. And so you have to ask yourself, why is that happening? The next year in 2013, only 43% of our students finished that degree in 2 to 4 year degrees in 6 years.
I see a
So you
trend.
have to kind of focus on why is that happening?
right.
If we are in fact preparing students for college, what's stopping them from finishing? And so when I first started, I started asking for alumni, graduates of Westbrook. Why aren't you finishing? And what I was finding out is there wasn't enough time in high school for them to explore careers, or there wasn't the focus to do that. So they were going off to college. As this is not just Westbrook, this is all over the country.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes,
it's students
absolutely.
like they start, change a major. As soon as they change their major in college, costs mom and dad more money or themselves more money because they have to take another set of courses.
Right.
That's what my son was doing. 7 years.
No, and I totally get that. And I
Yeah.
firmly believe exactly that you're saying. It's like, where are we allowing them to explore? And the exploration should not happen after you're paying a $50,000 college bill or more.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So it shouldn't be sort of the attitude before was you go to college and find yourself and figure out what you want to be. And so we're like, let's pull that back and find out. We're not expecting a senior, an 18-year-old, or even a 14-year-old freshman to say, this is what I'm going to be and I'm going to stick with that.
Right.
Some kids do. Some do, but not everyone does.
Right.
So it's just let's rule out some things. If we rule out some career ideas, then we're
one
success.
step ahead.
Yep, and we're
one step
success.
ahead. And we're going to talk about that piece too, because it's really great, the whole program. And I also wanted to talk about maybe some other factors that are influencing students to maybe kind of divert away from the theme of college, because I know when I was in school, that was the thing
Same.
that you did, is you went to college. Now we see that there is starting to be that shift about focusing on trades, and it's a necessary shift. I'm just wondering, what are some other things that you've seen that also have impacted that influence?
So, well,
that
COVID
shift?
was one of the things that brought the student loan debt was major.
Yeah.
We have, at Westbrook, our students do not want the debt. They are hearing, even from their own parents, that their parents are still paying off debt. And they're 17 or 18 years old when they're juniors and seniors, and they don't want that. They also are seeing, just like in the news, like how can we buy a house? How can we, all those economic factors kind of put pressure on students. So as I tell students all the time, it's what I told my own children growing up, your ability to go to college and go to the school of your choice is going to rely on how hard and how much effort you put in during high school.
Absolutely.
And so some kids, I don't want to say they don't want to put forth effort, because we have kids that are working towards trade employments in the trades now that are putting the same kind of effort in learning that skill as kids who are going to college are putting into their academics. So I think that's the major focus right there. And plus there's opportunities out there now that were not there 20 years ago. Even in the manufacturing field across the country and in Connecticut, the number of jobs are soaring now and remaining unfilled. So they see that and go, hey, there's might be a place for me in this.
So Diane, what do you think about what you are hearing?
Yeah, well, I'm very curious, Leslie, because back in the 90s, the career pathways that were really hot were IT, it was just fresh and new, and electronics was big, graphic design, and I'm just curious, what are the career pathways now? Is culinary still like a big hit right now? Is that a place people are, what are the career paths?
Yes, so the state, the money that funds career technical education in high schools comes from the Perkins Act out in Congress. So it's been around for a long time. And part of what schools, high schools and colleges have to do is they have to figure out what are the high wage, high demand, high skill jobs in their locale, in their geographic area. So that's required. You don't get federal funding for jobs that are not high wage, high demand, high skill jobs. So the answer to that is, like in Middlesex County, in our workforce development zone, which is basically Middlesex County, IT is still important because of the technological advances. Culinary is important, hospitality and tourism, which includes culinary, and hotel resort management. It's big for Westbrook.
And then I'm also thinking, we have the two big casinos
Yes,
that
we do.
are
Absolutely.
easily within driving distance.
Absolutely. So also healthcare is really big. So those are sort of the main, and manufacturing. Those four are the four high wage, high demand, high skill jobs
And
for our
healthcare
region.
isn't always a four-year degree.
Exactly.
And I think that's
true.
important to remind people. There's
That's exactly
phlebotomists, there's,
Ultra tax.
there's so many
Absolutely.
different fields that can, earn a very healthy hourly wage there that people can tap into very simply. Yeah.
And so part of my goal is to help a typical high school student, no matter where you go. You ask them, what careers are available to you? Usually they'll say doctor, lawyer, engineer. Those, nurse along with doctor. So those are the main ones. And if they don't know about all those medical opportunities, if they don't know about biomedical research and technologies, if they don't know about it, they don't know. And so that's part of my job, is to have kids do a real career awareness and career exploration in those. So all the activities that we offer are designed to open up the eyes of students to see what's available in our area.
And how many career pathways?
We have 22, which sounds like our school, 158 students. What? But what we've done, because of the types of courses we offer, we follow the 16 federal career pathways. They've been established for years, but we split some of them. And so, for example, hospitality and tourism, because we have a career technical education for business education and one for culinary, those two things are together. That sort of hotel, motel management piece of it, or entertainment management, sports marketing, that kind of thing, entertainment marketing is one of the paths, and the other is culinary. So that's why we see this split. Transportation and supply chain are usually together. They're now split with us, so kids can follow the transportation and learn more of the hands-on power and engineering, design and engineering, welding, that sort of thing. And then the kids who are doing supply chain, it's more of the business side.
I think this really ties into kind of the next question, because it's just you're gonna expand right on this. We're right on the right topic. Can you share about the community connections that are helping you expand on these 22? That's probably why you're having to split off, right?
Exactly. So we've had some really great shifts in student achievement only because of the support we're getting from the community. So when I started in 2019, I had a built-in group of advisors, and they were large in number, 85 members of the Westbrook Economic Action Initiative, whose big focus at the time, and still is, to improve conditions for the ALICE population, which is a United Way group of people, population that is asset limited, income constrained, but employed. So in other words, I'm working, but I might have to work 2 or 3 jobs to support my family. So they wanted to make the situation for Westbrook better, because at that time, in 2019, it was like 36% of Westbrook's population was considered ALICE. So what can we do to kind of improve that? So they became, part of that is getting good jobs and getting workforce development in place. So they were my immediate advisors. So those 85 people, and they included Water's Edge, the Lee Company, every Altivisions. There are a lot of companies around the Westbrook area, and I apologize to those I have not named, because there's about 200 of them around in this area in Middlesex County who supported this work and are willing to provide work-based learning opportunities for our students.
That's awesome.
And this comes in terms of like internships, field trips, guest speakers, educational programs.
Yes. Even at one point last year, we're going to do it again this year too. So those people out in the community, I'm coming for you again to ask you this request. But even things like our students had not learned anything about business ethics. So we have 17 advisory groups at the school that meet every other week, and we had 22 business people step up to the plate and come to our 30-minute advisory and talk to students about, describe a scenario and lead them through discussion of what would be the proper way to handle this ethically and with their insight. It was a quick response from our business people. So things like that, in addition to guest speakers, we have people coming from Electric Boat now to work with our kids who are welding.
Let's talk about that. And you sent us some photos too.
Oh, let's share those. Yeah, tell us about this story.
So
this is awesome.
The school was built in 1958, and this is the welding lab at just 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Not pretty. Okay. And only 2 welding booths were available. So our teacher, our technical education teacher, could only really take on 6 kids. And they would sit around twiddling their thumbs a lot because only 2 can weld at a time. And it's not like you can get in there and watch them weld, but it's a little tight to do that.
It's a hands-on kind of thing.
Exactly. So with the help of Electric Boat, who we kind of jumped on with, I said, hey, we need some help just making sure that our curriculum is correct for kids to be able to get hired as welders, not just at Electric Boat, but anywhere. And we also would like some help to turn our welding lab into something different that looks more like this.
Awesome.
So now we have, we've doubled the space. So what you saw in that first picture was just a part. We literally doubled the space. We now have 8 welding booths. And with the help of the American Welding Society, a workforce development grant, the school district bringing money in, Westbrook Foundation, we were able to, and the Carl Perkins Supplemental Grant, we were able to spend some time fixing. This is a picture
That's
before
awesome.
the kids, right at the grand opening. And,
Right.
you go in there now, there's a little more stuff laying around, projects being worked on. But,
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
our capacity now, instead of 6 kids, we can get 16 in there
Wow.
into a single class.
Nice.
So really building on
Excellent.
that, I know. So
And
Diane-
so right now, Electric Boat, they call us the champion school because we are the first comprehensive high school in Connecticut to partner with them. So we've had a full K-12 partnership. So our elementary students do, it's called the Boat for Kids program. And,
Really?
and students, they have six different people, or 6 on 6 occasions. They go in and do a little underwater welding and a little welding with cheese whiz and crackers.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
they're getting workforce development training right in the 5th grade. And then our middle school does an underwater robotics program that has been sort of funded by the workforce development money at Sanidia and with the help of Electric Boat. And then our high school students get to do the Boat Next Gen is what it's called, where they're going to experience all 6 trades that EB hires for.
That's
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
And I know last year there were 2 graduating students that were hired by EB due to being in this program.
Yes, so we have part of, I've kind of the success, first of all, I told Electric Boat that Westbrook is where David Bushnell, does, you know, he was from Westbrook and designed the first submarine. So
Right, the
you
turtle.
You got to partner with Westbrook.
That's right.
You got to partner with Westbrook. So, but we had, actually, we have 6 students who are 6 schools that came together. We asked Electric Boat to do an application day at our school. So 35 students last year across 6 high schools. This year will be 7 high schools. And 4 of our students actually got job offers, but 1 ended up moving to another state. And 1 decided not quite ready yet. And so, but 2 students stepped in and are doing very well at Electric Boat now as
So
well.
amazing.
Very cool.
Hey, Diane, I think you had something else to ask of our wonderful guest here.
Well, yeah, I was curious about the recognition and awards that have been going on for the school there, and can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So a couple of years ago, well, 3 years ago, ASU, which is the Arizona State University and the Global Silicon Valley, it's a big funder. They have a national, or really international convention every year out in San Diego, and they support the Education Innovation Summit, which is designed for educators who are doing innovative things and with proof of it. So we were selected, I applied for it, we were selected as one of the 10 finalists from around the country, around the world. There were a couple international. We were selected for the Innovation Summit as a finalist. So got to go out to San Diego. We didn't win the top prize, but that's okay. That's a recognition of that. And then the other thing was just last year, we were awarded as semifinalists for the United States Department of Education Career Z Prize Challenge, where they were trying to discover what is the best kind of work-based learning for high school students. We were one of 72 students, or 72 schools that were semifinalists, and we were awarded prize money to do with whatever we wish. So we took that money and said, it's time to take our 1958 culinary kitchen and turn it into a commercial standard. So that's what we did with our
Awesome.
prize money.
That is so great.
I love that you are reaping success in the shifting of your mindset and really capitalizing on
Yes.
it. We're getting close to the end here, so I'd really love for you to share final thoughts, you know, on what else you have coming down the pike, where you see this going, and
Yes.
Okay.
what
Ways to keep
your
building
wish
the interest.
and your wish list. you
Yeah,
know,
so
like, let's-
I would first say that the huge thank you to all the companies that have supported this work and see the value of taking young people and bringing them in. And I would invite anybody who wants to join us, no matter what your business is, whatever your field is, because we have a place for you. We have 27 different ways that that business and industry can help our students like we said, guest speaking, all the way to internships and everything in between, coming into mentoring, working with teachers on curriculum, giving teacher externships, letting teachers go out. So that would be my wish, is to continue to have the support of our community, not just Westbrook, but the surrounding community.
I think it's so important to remind people too. This is one stellar example. You know, not that you can't look to your own community and provide these services to your own high schools, because I'm sure there's really good things happening there as well. But this was just a very amazing highlight to be able to share this amazing story with you all. Sorry, I didn't mean to
And how
step that
about just to wrap up with maybe any tip for another school system to begin this venture?
Yeah, so first of all, get buy-in. That was the most important thing for Westbrook, is to get the buy-in from everyone. And that means down to the classroom teachers. So they all buy in, they understand, but it was through professional development and continuous professional development and showing them the little tips along the way and the successes along the way and the engagement that students are getting as a result of them as teachers sharing how the knowledge that they're teaching kids will be used in the future.
Nice.
I think I really love this conversation, because I feel that the shift of it really gives the children an opportunity to kind of embrace what they're thinking and apply it, like, oh, I get choices, I get to experience. That's kind of a little more special than having an expectation put on, or looking at a percentage and saying, let's keep that number. And,
Exactly.
And that's what I experienced, and I'm glad that's shifted.
And
Yes,
I also
exactly.
think another shift, because again, when we were in school, the focus was college, is it's so nice that trades now are also being seen as an equal place as college. And that was not the case before. So
Yes.
I think it's awesome that you are bringing that to our community. And I really hope that others can reach out to you
Absolutely.
and, be able to start this in their community.
Absolutely.
So
I'm happy to
thank
help.
you.
It
Thank
could
you
already be
so
happening.
much.
It could already be happening.
yes.
Let's make it blossom.
Yes.
That's
so thank
right.
you so much for
You're
being
very
here and
welcome.
sharing
My pleasure.
what you do.
My pleasure.
Awesome. And remember,
Always look for the silver lining.
Silver lining.